Yeah, on YouTube, right?
All right,
And then,
I'm gonna tell everybody right now. Hey, we're showing up a little late here. We've already been talking about the movie and such. I have to apologize because I'm such a
Oh,
schmo here. I hit the live button earlier, so if you've been sitting here waiting for 20 minutes, going, where are these guys at? We've been talking about the film already. I hit the live button and it didn't take, and Rob had to point out that it did not happen. So I
I think it's
apologize.
on. I think it's on
It
right now. I'm
it
looking at
is.
it.
It's
it is
live now.
now. It
Okay,
is
yeah.
now.
You can see up in the
So
corner where it says live on our
yeah,
screen.
yeah, and this is
So,
end
so
broadcast.
now
So
everyone just popped in on this like horrific body on the floor.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good place to pop
Hey,
in.
welcome to our show,
And
everyone.
welcome to our show. So once again, I apologize everybody if you've been waiting. So it makes this really epic show that I was planning to end up being a big poo poo. So
Well, if you
let's
get,
go back to the beginning.
are you getting a hard like recorded copy of it locally?
I would have if I would have pushed the button.
Oh, okay.
Because I did push the button, and I guess there's a second button there you have to push. So,
Are
hey,
you
kid,
sure you want to go live?
so, yeah, that was it. It was like,
Yeah,
do you want to do this? And so that's probably what happened. Then it went
yeah.
back to the
Good
previous
old
thing.
YouTube intuitive UI there.
Yeah. So kids, it's kind of like the old David Letterman show. He used to say that it was not exactly a professional broadcast, and neither is this. Ha ha ha. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're sitting here talking about Pulp Fiction. We're already talking a little bit into it, and of course, joining us is Johnny Graphics, Retro Rob,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, our friend Gene from Caps Off Gaming could not join us this evening. He is grading papers because he's a school teacher and he's dedicated, darn it. So he will be doing that. And we miss you, Gene, and we will see you at another broadcast here really soon. But I apologize, everybody. So we're just going to catch up here real quick. What we are talking about right now is in the movie, we were talking about the violence and the consequences and some of the most iconic violent scenes, whether they be just shocking or darkly humorous. And we did talk about, of course, Marvin being shot in the face, and we were talking about this scene just a minute ago, right there.
The adrenaline
Yes,
scene.
probably one of the most iconic scenes in the movie. I mean, and John, you said it too. Is there a scene that we can pick above another? And I mean, there's several screenshots that, I mean, I can just show you several screenshots right now that you'll go, yeah, that's iconic.
Yeah, no, you could pick
That's
almost any scene
iconic.
from the movie, and it's
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, this is an iconic one. Yeah.
that's iconic. And it could be argued until we are blue in the face which one is the most iconic scene. And there are still people out there because when I was at Bowling Green State University, I had a pulp culture class, and we talked about Pulp Fiction. And of course, I was a non traditional student there. So everybody, it was about 12 years younger than me. And we're talking about Pulp Fiction. And, how many people in the class, out of about 30 people, how many people in the class have seen the film? And about 3 people raised their hands.
Mm.
And I'm sitting there going, how in the hell is this even possible? This is one of the most iconic films of all time.
What year was this? If you don't
Uh,
mind me asking.
this was 2006, maybe?
Okay. Well, there's no excuse at that point.
Right. Now, maybe now, now my two boys who are 21 and 23, almost 24, of course they've seen it. Look who their dad is. Their dad's, Mr. Pulp Fiction, you know, silly YouTube channel making, putting pie in his face just to make people laugh. So, of course they've seen Pulp Fiction.
Hmm.
But, the kids nowadays who are 18, 17, whatever, have they seen it? I would doubt it. I would really doubt it. But
That's a shame.
yeah, oh, it is.
That's
And
never occurred to me, but you're probably right. It is kind of like an old movie now, isn't it?
it is, it's
I mean, it's old.
1994. I mean, next
Yeah.
year, this film will be 30 years old.
Oh, that hurts.
Yes. But a scene in the movie that makes me laugh every time I see it. And there's so many little facets and so many little things in this scene. But one thing that makes me giggle, and I'm going to show you a 2-second clip right now. That's it. Just he's talking to Marsalis. Jules is talking to Marsalis, trying to get him to bring in
Yeah.
some help because, of course, they have a dead body in Jimmy's garage, and Jimmy's just Jules's friend, over in in a different town. Hey, I don't have any friends over there. Let me call my buddy over here in Toluca Lake. So they go to this guy's house, and he's just a regular Joe. You know, he gets up in the morning, he drinks his coffee. His wife's a nurse. He's not a thug. He's not a gangster. And these guys are messing his stuff up. You know, the whole thing with the whole idea of, you're messing my stuff up. You know, the coffee, et cetera, et
And
cetera.
this is Jimmy, the guy played by Quentin Tarantino, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and of course, there's Quentin on the left there, and of course we have Winston Wolfe right there on the right, and of course they're looking at the two gangsters taking their clothes off and they just put on some of Jimmy's scrub clothes, just some of his t-shirt,
Right,
like,
the little shorts and
your
stuff.
shorts
Yeah.
and whatever, and they're making fun of him. But when he's like, you have to realize, he's saying to Marcellus, you have to realize what an explosive situation this Bonnie situation is. If we don't get out of the house before his wife gets home, not only is he going to get divorced, we're all going to jail. And then not only that, but odds are it could even trickle up the ladder and head toward Marcellus's way, because one way or the other, what is this movie about? Now, somebody might actually not. You can't say, well, there's this going
It's
on.
actually a really good question.
Yeah, what is I mean, if you wanted to boil it down, and,
Yeah.
and it could be argued what this movie really, really is about. From my perspective, this movie is about one thing: that briefcase.
It really kind of is, isn't it? That's the one common denominator.
Now,
That's the chocobo
Right,
that's
now,
in all of the scenes or all of
Butch-
the characters' lives.
Butch has nothing to do with the briefcase. Mia has nothing to do with the briefcase. Fabian has nothing to do with the briefcase. But
Right.
one way or the other, that briefcase somehow it is touching somebody, and that person is touching someone else. In that, it's kind of like the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon, isn't it? You know,
Does Butch not get it? He never gets it.
he has no idea the thing even exists.
Where does it end up? Where does it land last?
It ends up back. It ends up with Marcellus.
Yeah,
Okay.
the diner scene where they're finally in Jimmy's clothes and they're finally making their way back to Marcel's with it, and then he gets it, and then they I think that's where we leave it, right?
Yeah, because they show up.
Okay,
No, they
Yeah.
remember earlier in the movie, because it's out of sequence.
Yeah,
They show up in the gym clothes,
yeah,
Right.
and Paul says, "Man, what's with those clothes?" He's like, "You don't even want to know." And they walk in with the briefcase,
Mhm.
and they unceremoniously don't even hand it to him. It's just like you move to those two talking, and then you follow John Travolta's character Vincent over to the bar. He gets into it a little bit with Butch about hey, what you looking at, Punchy, that sort of thing. But,
Right.
But this briefcase at that moment, that is Z. That is point Z of this briefcase.
Okay.
Point Z is unceremoniously just it just never get
Jules takes it with him to the bathroom, right?
hmm
yeah you never even get the moment to see when Marcellus opens it up to go, yeah, that's awesome, whatever it is. So
Since we're on the topic of the briefcase, I don't want to get ahead of your planned questions,
Sure.
but do we have theories on what is in it?
I have heard a couple of different theories. Well, let me rephrase that. I have a theory of what's in it, but there's one popular theme that's always been online, and I don't agree with it, is that it's Marcellus Wallace's soul.
Soul, yeah,
Oh,
and that's why
Yes.
when it opens, it has that glow to it, and then even the combination was a combination, not 666.
I think it was. Yep, you
Yeah.
barely saw it there. A very tight shot on his thumb opening it. It was
So I
666.
think that's why people alluded to it being like with the combo and then the glow of it and everything. And then there was other like rumors and theories about that Band-Aid on the back of Marcellus Wallace's head the whole time. Like,
Ah.
so
Now,
yeah,
What do you think it is, Scott?
I have a couple of ideas. One, I don't necessarily think it's his soul. I think it's possible it's a deal he made with the devil. And
Oh, it's like the deed or something.
yeah, it's like the deed. He got it back,
Okay.
and he's able to. But in a sense that makes it his soul, doesn't it? Because usually the deal with the devil is you got to give me your soul.
Right.
So-
Effectively, it's a similar thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing that gives him his soul back. But everybody's looking at, because like, look at this photo. You have Vincent, and he's like, oh yeah, we happy. Vincent's not shocked like, oh my gosh, $2.99 hot dogs, they're awesome. No, he's looking at this, kind of like, yeah, we're happy, this is pretty, this is what we came for.
Right.
And then of course, Tim Roth's character, whose name eludes me at the moment, is Honey Bunny, and
the Australian or British guy.
Wasn't it Ringo or something?
Well, he calls him Ringo, but that's not his character's
right.
name. But we'll just call him Ringo because I prefer Ringo.
Right.
There we go.
He looks at it and he's kind of stunned by. He goes, "That's beautiful."
He asked so too. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
So, Rob? What do you think?
Oh, it's clearly the Constitution. Obviously.
It's the Constitution.
Is that what I think it is? It's that the Constitution?
It's a Nicolas Cage movie the whole time.
Yeah. I don't know. Because even in this photo, you can see, like even you said, Scott, like you can almost see like wordage or words kind of in a reflection, maybe, or maybe I'm crazy, or it looks like old parchment, like old paper. Something about it looks like some kind of document, but the glow, man, we'll never know. That's what's crazy about it. That's what makes it so good, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I said, it ends up. I mean, yeah, there are some other things going on in the movie. You have the whole Butch sub story there, and or the couple subplots going on there, and
right,
and other things. But I think ultimately, when it comes to why did this chain of events get started off, it's all because of that briefcase. And I was gonna mention this later on in the movie. Now, if no one's ever seen this, that's the special effect. That is what was in the briefcase. Just a nice bright, probably 100-watt bulb sitting there. And
I've never seen this. I think this kind of ruins it. I hate that I just saw this.
It does. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I apologize.
I'll never look at the movie the same because I'll see the scene. I'll be like, oh, it's just a stupid light.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe that's what it is. It was just a light bulb, and Marcellus Wallace just needed a new reading light.
Yeah. He's like, is that what I think it is? Yes, it's the longer lasting light bulb.
And Vincent was just real happy that he could finally get this from Marcellus.
Yeah. It's GE's finest.
Yeah.
People got killed over the damn thing.
You have a portable light bulb. You can now read anywhere you want to.
Right. So, it was pretty high tech for the 90s, I guess.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh yeah. But does it really ruin the movie when you see some special effects? Yes and no.
It doesn't really. I was just kidding.
Well, I know, but I think sometimes it does because it kind of takes you out of that moment. But
Johnny has left the chat.
I'm out of here.
I'm done. All right, that's it. We started. Scott started the thing 20 minutes late again, and I swear to you people, I swear to everybody who decided to go, well, what the heck's going on? He's starting late again. No, I swear to you, I pushed the button, and then like Johnny
I know
said,
you even we texted earlier.
I practiced it,
and you told me that you were ready. So I was like, all right.
I was up till 4 a.m. finishing things up, practicing. I'm like, I will not push the button this week, and I did push it. So, but there's 2 buttons we found out. Anyway, let's get past that.
All right.
So anyway, now.
Can I add one thing about the briefcase?
Yeah.
Before we move on.
Of course. No, there's no time. No.
All right. Unsubbed. There's one thing that I think it's important to remember. Like if you're a big fan of movies or video games, also kind of do this. To enjoy them as much as possible, in my opinion, you kind of have to just buy in to what it is. And the lore of this briefcase, purposefully, the movie does not tell you what it is on purpose. You're supposed to scratch your head. You're supposed to think about it. It's supposed to kind of linger in your mind. And that's the fun of it for me.
Yep.
So I never really thought about what it was. I just know, I think when I was a kid, I think I might have assumed that it was like some kind of high end, like military weapon or something, because I was a kid and everything, I watched The Rock and stuff, I was just assuming everything's about some weapon, Metal Gear or whatever. And, but other than that, I've always just kind of purposefully like not really thought much about it. And I think, Dr. Scott's gone. But anyway, I just think it's good.
I have goo in my eye. I didn't want to wipe it on camera.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, I ruined that for you.
It's okay. See, watch people. I can just do it on camera.
Show us the goo, bro. But I just think it's good. Like sometimes it's good to just not know things, and I think
Right.
there's nothing wrong with coming up with theories and talking about it. That's fun too. But it's also at the end of the day, in my opinion, I kind of like not knowing things if that story has purposefully shrouded it. You know what I mean?
The Force. So. The Force is not midichlorians. You know, it's the same thing. You're not supposed to know. Oh, the Force is it? No, just leave it alone. It's this mystical thing. It binds us all. Blah 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 blah. Not. Oh well, hey, I'm looking at Anakin's midichlorian count, and it's pretty high. He might be really powerful here.
There's electromagnetism. The quarks have split at this rate.
No, we don't need any of that. Just a little bit of mystery is always good. And
yeah, I agree. That's kind of my thing. I revel in sort of not knowing things sometimes.
Yeah, because it can ruin what's going on. You know?
It can, especially if the story wants you to not know it. Because this briefcase, the fun of it is it could be all kinds of weird things.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm glad that we don't know. It's cool. It's a cool little
like
wrinkle
not
in the
knowing
movie.
too. That's kind of like you said, Johnny. It's just the point of the mystery of the whole thing, man. It just makes it better.
Yeah, but it's all because we don't know.
Yeah, Yeah, Jules agrees.
That is a tasty opinion.
This
is a tasty burger.
But yeah,
burger.
I never want to know what's in the briefcase. And I think I saw one time somebody did ask Tarantino what was in the briefcase, and he said, "You're never going to find out. I'm never going to tell you."
Oh, so he actually knows.
Well, yeah. But maybe that's the writer in him telling you, I never came up with what's in there, or maybe he does know and he doesn't want to ruin it for you because he's not George Lucas,
right?
He's not going to come out with the special edition of Pulp Fiction where, it just screw. Hey, now Jar Jar Binks has bigger nostrils and
in the Criterion collection. That's when they'll reveal what's in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a light bulb.
It's probably, for all we know, there was probably no idea or intention of what was in there. It could have just been his just little clever way of making everyone nuts. So that's typical Tarantino too, man. He loves to get under people's skin, man.
I think that's a big part of what I like about him. It's like him and Kubrick as well. It's one of the reasons why Kubrick is one of my favorite directors as well, because his movies leave a lot of things unanswered a lot of the time. Yeah. And I like that. Like, I like not quite knowing why Jack Torrance is in that black and white photo at the end of the movie. I don't really know why that is.
Yeah.
There may actually be an answer to that. I'm not sure, but I kind of like that the movie put that question mark there at the end for me. I don't know. I like that. And like you said, Quentin Tarantino is really good at that.
Yeah. Well,
that's the tool in his tool belt.
Well, that's the thing about Kubrick too, is when he does something deliberately, he there's never a coincidence. He does things very deliberately.
Oh yeah. Meticulous.
But if he's leaving something unanswered for you to go, huh? I mean, there's a reason for that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, many of the characters in Pulp Fiction are morally ambiguous and they're flawed individuals. No, really. So now, Rob, how does this explore the film's notions of redemption or forgiveness and personal transformation through these characters' arcs? Now, do you think we can find any redeeming qualities in characters like, say, Jules or Vincent?
I think for Jules, Jules, he just wants out. I think this is like the last job, and I think he just wants out. He wants a peaceful life. I even he expresses it, to Vincent, where like he could just be a bum, like he just. So you're kind of rooting for him to survive and to just get through it, But as far as, well, I mean, there's Butch too. I mean, you're kind of rooting for him the whole time too. He definitely
wants out too.
Yeah, he definitely wants out. So yeah, I guess it's all kind of the same almost for everyone. I mean, this is just the final job for everybody in the movie.
Well, Jules and Vincent, now they're of course thugs. They're hired assassins, essentially goons for the crime boss Marcellus Wallace. So what makes Vincent redeemable? Now Mia, his boss's wife, she's overdosing, and he did everything just about everything in his power to save her. Kind of, sort of. He didn't take her to the local hospital, but then that would implicate him. But he did everything in his power, sort of, to save her. Now, did he do this because her death would ultimately make me a grease spot? It would just, it would mean he would die. Or did he save Mia because it was somebody that, he's grown to like? Or do you think Vincent, he would do that for just anybody? So, some Joe Blow's just sitting there getting high with him, and they think it's coke, and now they're snorting heroin, and all of a sudden, well, now I got to take Joe Blow to the hospital. So, does there have, or would he do it for anybody, or does there have to be a string attached? Like his life.
Well, like you said, I mean, Vincent's complicated. So, like, all the characters are complicated. So, it could easily be a little of all the above, right? I mean, now I struggle to think he would do it for anyone, but I do think that when it comes to like this, Marcellus is going to kill me if we don't save her.
Yeah.
Versus, he really did have a connection with her too earlier, when they danced, even when they talked about right there where they talked about the $5 milkshake. I think that was really when they started kind of having a genuine connection. And it wasn't a real strong one, but it was a genuine connection that started around there. And that's Steve Buscemi as the waiter, by the way.
Yeah,
a lot of people miss that. Like he snuck in there.
Yeah. That was
but I think it was both. I think he had a connection with her and he liked her. But I also think he knew that, if Marcellus came back and his wife was dead, he would be just as good as dead at that.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Given the complexity of the characters, probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, especially when they're tossing around rumors about a guy being thrown out a window over a foot massage. I mean,
Right.
So of course he's freak. I mean, if that's just a foot massage, and now he's got his wife's dead on drugs. I mean, geez. So but I agree with Johnny too. It's definitely a 2-part connection and fear. And again, also like Johnny said, I seriously doubt if it had been anyone else in the movie, Travolta's character Vincent, he would have just moved on. He wouldn't care,
So had it been say his drug dealer Lance, he would have just been like, oh well, I'm out of here, because there's no real consequence other than I got to find a new drug dealer.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Maybe though, because
what situation would Vincent be in where Lance overdoses in front of him?
Well, yeah, because just like Lance said, I can handle my shit. My friends can handle their shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But they don't strike me as people hanging out, is what I'm saying. Like Vincent would just be chilling on the couch next to him eating cereal, and then Lance ODs all of a sudden, and then
No, although a thug, he is and I hate to put it this way, but he's a different kind of lowlife, if you will. He's a thug versus a drug dealer. So it's like, and because of the kind of money he makes and the kind of jobs he does, he's a little higher on the evolutionary chain of criminals and stuff.
The hierarchy.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything redeemable about Jules though? I mean, now both of them just wasted a guy earlier in the film. I mean, just not necessarily in cold blood, but on orders. But now, Jules has seen his so-called miracle, and does that make, now that Jules has decided to walk the earth and become a different kind of person and turn away from this life of crime, does that make everything forgivable? Is he gonna?
I don't know.
Is he gonna turn into Bill Bixby and the Incredible Hulk and just start walking through and getting into different adventures?
Forgivable, redeemable. Those words sound a bit strong, perhaps, but I will say that I liked seeing him turn over a new leaf. I will say that.
Yeah, and he had a clear chance to kill Ringo and his lady at the restaurant, and he didn't, and he gave him his wallet. I mean, that was a part right there where you finally saw that he's
like a normal person.
Yeah, and he's definitely going in a better direction. And I think that part, if we're going to use the word redeemable, that's where it started for him.
Yeah,
sure.
And you just brought up a good point. He's like, how much money is in there? Plus all the other wallets. That's a pretty decent score. Take it and go. Whereas, there's Vincent. He's like, I'm just going to shoot. I'm going to shoot. You give him $1,500. I'm going to shoot him on general principle. Vincent is still stuck in his daily life, I have to have my things and my stuff and all that. Where on the other hand, Jules, in 1 minute, he was touched, according to him, he was touched by God, and now he can let that go. It's just money, it's just stuff. I can just let it go.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that was an interesting contrast there for the two of them because they had their disagreements, but they were generally simpatico up until that point on important things. And this was a moment where they parted ways at the end there, and that was an important moment because it showed Jules really is, at least now, even though it's perhaps too little too late to call him redeemable, but at least at that point he was making an effort to be a normal person.
is Marsalis redeemable by any measure?
Well, it's hard to see anybody go through that and not feel sorry for him, but I don't know. Again, redeemable sounds perhaps a little strong, but um, I don't know. Everybody's human. They're all human. That's there's such well written characters that it's hard to not. You have to sympathize with them while also admitting that they're thugs. Who are deeply troubled and deeply flawed. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd call them redeemable, but I definitely empathize with them on,
Yeah, I agree.
especially there at the end.
Now, the dialogue plays a crucial role in Pulp Fiction with memorable and often lengthy conversations between characters. Of course, like the conversation between Butch and Esmeralda Villalobos, the taxi driver. And I'm so glad that they did not include that deleted scene on there because that just goes on and on and on and on and on. And but if you have the opportunity to watch the deleted scenes, there's a 2 or 3. Check them out. A couple of them are worth actually watching. Um, but the philosophical conversations, I'm sorry, I have my question written down here. So you have the lengthy conversations between Butch and Esmeralda, the taxi driver, and then you also have the philosophical conversations between Vincent and Jules. Now, Rob, how does Tarantino's use of the dialogue contribute to the overall impact of for the film? So, I mean, like, sometimes he's being very simplistic with what he's saying, and he paints a picture very quickly. Like with Jimmy, I buy good coffee because I want to taste it. My wife, she buys shit. That's really quite simple. But then you have these long conversations about you know uh I, you know what's it like to kill a man, et cetera, et cetera. And then Butch is like, I didn't know he was dead until you told me. And you have this long philosophical conversation about life and death, that kind of a thing. And then even Butch talking, it seems like Butch ends up having the philosophical conversations with everybody because there's his girlfriend, talk about the pot belly and everything else and crazy stuff. How does this contribute to the film's overall impact?
I think that those scenes just give you more time to kind of understand and get to know the characters before things start getting crazy or evolve into the next level. I think just you get a little brief moment to just kind of really know what Butch is thinking, or just a second to see Butch calm for a second before craziness. And so I think that's why it was good for us. Like, it's just a good calming period in a movie before just he goes off, with the scene with the pawn shop and everything else.
Mhm.
We get to see the warrior Butch. Same thing even with Jules and Vincent just having a heart to heart at the table. I mean, you finally can just see just two men at a diner having breakfast, talking about goals in life without knowing anything about anything else. You put away the guns and everything else that they do for a living, and it's just two dudes just having breakfast.
Right.
So, and it's good to see that because it's not just them being violent and crazy the whole entire movie.
Right.
Tarantino wanted you to see that, like Johnny said, these are human beings. They have feelings. They do talk about other stuff. It's not like they just sit around all day and they're like, I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to kill that guy. And then that's like their whole conversation all day long.
Right.
I'm sure they talk about, how the Lakers did and that's good. You want to see that in characters, when you're watching a movie. You want to relate to that.
They go back to the killer's locker room and wait to be called up. All right, we got another job. All right, let's go.
So it's good, I think.
Now, is there like John? Is there a specific scene, or are there specific scenes or exchanges that stand out to you that are particularly significant or thought provoking?
Well, I mean, The one we have an image of right here. I mean, this one's super. It makes you constantly wonder. Which it puts you really in the shoes of the people that they're pointing the guns at in some ways, because you don't know. I mean, you think they wouldn't be there if they weren't going to shoot somebody, probably. But with how Samuel Jackson's character, talks to them at first, he does this thing where he's very nice and he's very pleasant and he's very. You can kind of see in his eyes there's a bit of a there's a malicious twinkle there, but when he's talking to him, he's still very he's pleasant, he's charming. They're talking about the burger, they're talking about the Sprite.
He's a cat toying with them, isn't he?
Well, and this is another thing that Quentin Tarantino has done in several movies. Nowadays you'll see Christoph Waltz doing it. You'll see that in Inglourious Bastards. There's a scene where he has a glass of milk with a Jewish woman.
Yeah.
And there's another scene in my personal favorite Tarantino movie, which is Django Unchained. There's a scene where maybe a couple where Christoph Waltz is this highly dangerous hitman, but he's sitting down and having conversations with people before blowing them away. And so you see, but the progenitor to that is Jules, and this scene, and him kind of making the audience as well as the characters there think, okay, are we going to be friends? Is there like the 1% chance that I'm going to survive this and maybe walk out of here? Like, are we actually going to? He's being nice. Are we going to be all right? You genuinely start buying into that, and of course, that's not what happens. But it's in terms of like thought provoking and really just, you can't, if you see this scene like on TV, you can't turn away. Like, you have to sit there and watch it, don't you? I mean, it's so entertaining. It's so watchable. So I don't know. I'd probably go with this one in terms of like thought provoking and ones that I could just sit here and examine forever. I mean, I could examine this scene forever. There's so much to it.
Yeah, it's clearly iconic too. I mean, it's just these two alone, just looking at these two characters, it's just iconic.
Yeah. I am a little bit I have to say though, since we have them both on screen, I still don't quite understand why John Travolta was nominated for Best Actor. Not that he was bad, but Samuel Jackson was clearly the best actor in the movie, wasn't he?
I think so.
I mean, if you have to pick one, they were all great, but if you have to pick one, and I mean, it seemed like a weird decision that John Travolta, out of everybody, I mean, his character was great. Vincent, especially in the adrenaline scene, his character was amazing, but Jules was the out of the two of them, certainly out of the two of them, Jules was the character, I thought. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Am I off base? I don't know. I've always thought that.
I don't think you're off base at all, because they both were in movies, and I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, I remember the bit part he had in Goodfellas. And
Who was in Goodfellas?
He was the truck driver who fell asleep and then got whacked in his bedroom.
Wow, I need to watch that movie again. I don't remember.
Remember when they did the big airport heist?
Yeah, when they went to Lufthansa.
Okay.
They pulled off the big airport heist. Well, they were tying up loose ends.
Stax Edwards.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He was one of the loose ends, yeah.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I think that this is the movie that you have this convergence of someone who has definitely had a career, whether it been on television, and then of course, your a few movies beforehand, whether it be, Saturday Night Fever and what was it, Midnight Cowboy? Was that the name of it? Or
Midnight
Urban Cowboy?
Or Urban, what was it?
Was it with Travolta? Urban Cowboy?
Yeah, Urban Cowboy, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which I've never seen. And then
pretty good.
And of course he kind of went into oblivion there for a little bit, and then he got a little bit of a reprieve with the Look Who's Talking, but then that kind of started weighing him down until this came along.
Yeah, this was his comeback.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was also, in many respects, the springboard that launched Samuel L. Jackson. I think without this film, he may not have gotten his star to rise as quickly, or maybe not even at all, because he is a fantastic actor. But I think this was that springboard moment that really relaunched one and launched the other. And
It was kind of his turn, I guess you could say, in that way.
Yeah, and
Okay.
plus in the movie too, you can see Travolta really. I wouldn't say he outacted Samuel Jackson, but he had more scenes in the movie where he had more compassion, and then just going out with Mia, and then that scene at the diner, and there was just a lot more going on. I felt like with Vincent than there was a clear cut thing with just Samuel Jackson. So
yeah, I guess you're right.
And
And I didn't have that context because I was born in '88. So when this movie came out, I was like, what, like 6 or something? And I didn't see it until I was maybe, a little old. I didn't watch it at 6, but I was young and I didn't have that context of like, oh, this is where John Travolta was at in his career. So that's kind of why they went ahead and gave him the nod at that point. So that makes sense. Okay. And I think he lost. I think Tom Hanks got the Oscar that year, didn't it, for Forrest Gump? So
yeah, Forrest Gump.
No one was going to beat that. So
yeah. So, was Samuel Jackson's first movie was Tarantino, wasn't it? Wasn't he? Because he was in True Romance also.
I don't know. Maybe
he was killed like immediately. He was in a scene with Gary Oldham, and it was the scene with the shotgun. I don't know if you remember the movie. They were in a hotel.
A long time.
Well, so Samuel Jackson, that was like his first role, I'm pretty sure, and that was in True Romance. So he already had a Tarantino connection just to start with.
I want to show this comment.
General principle.
Yeah, Javid Dumb says.
Oh man, hey, I know him. He's on my page a lot. What's up, Javid? If you're still watching,
Javid.
But yeah, he's general principle. Yeah.
I can't see any comments on mine. Oh, whatever.
It is infinitely quotable, though. You could pick. I mean, you could just throw a dart at the script, and you would land on an iconic line almost certainly. Now,
Tarantino, he's known for his use of dialogue, pop culture references, as we saw a little bit earlier, of course, with this right here. And then, of course, the serials and stuff that you see in the movies and things like that don't even exist anymore. And some of that stuff only existed during that time or even before that time, like in the 80s. So like the Fruit Brute, that was a cereal that Lance was eating, and it's, by that time I think Fruit Brute was gone.
I've never even heard of it.
Me neither.
Fruit Brute was one of the Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's kind of like a werewolf or something like that.
That Operation board game you don't see that every day anymore either, do you? I mean, I don't know. There may be like some sanitized version of it now, but I imagine that's probably not super marketable today.
No, you do see it, but it's usually like Simpsons or Frozen, okay.
I don't know if you're gonna operate on Elsa.
Yeah, I don't know who'd be like pulling Elsa's wishbone out, but
okay, that's even weirder, I think, than just regular Operation. But okay, but I'm gonna pull this iconic character apart and like pull out their innards. That's weird. I'd rather be a generic guy.
Here's your icicle. But Tarantino's known for his use of the dialogue, pulp culture references, non-linear storytelling. Now, how do these elements contribute? Now, Rob, what do you think to the overall themes and style of Pulp Fiction itself?
What do you mean now?
Well, because of his because he likes to use a lot of pop culture references.
Oh, right, in the movie,
and some of his movies are out of order. Not all of them, but some of them. And you get to see, or you see a flashback here or there. It's never an A to B, sort of A to B to C to D. Sometimes it's D C A F Z. Kind of like Pulp Fiction is. How do these elements how do they contribute to the overall theme and style of this particular film?
Well, I guess it puts you right in the era or the time it's supposed to take place, I guess. I mean, it captures because the movie, I don't remember, did they say when it's supposed to take place? Like, was it during the 80s, 90s?
I don't know if they ever explicitly say.
Yeah, but if you could tell by the decor, I would say like mid 80s.
I kind of assume like
90s.
85 to like 89, like somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, again, because I'm looking at just the interior of this home, and I mean, I'm having flashbacks myself. So
we did see Marcellus Wallace. I don't know if I have the photo, but we did see him on a cordless phone, not a wireless phone, but
yeah, but that was one of those big old.
But but it was a pretty big.
Yeah. Well, rich people had those in the 80s. I mean, that was a thing.
Yeah. So that was a common thing. So that's
we are seeing it in that general area, like you
Yeah.
said.
And the car
the
phone
late
too. There was a
80s.
car phone used in it as well, I think, right?
Yeah, he had a fairly small car phone too, not like a great big one from like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, so maybe it could have been early 90s, I guess. It could have been.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be crazy for this to be early 90s.
It might have
Plus,
been at that time modern day.
the whole like coke dying and heroin coming back in a big way thing, that was really kind of more of a 90s sentiment, because coke was huge in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that may put us in early 90s perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, we already touched on what's in the briefcase, so we won't even go there again. So my question before we move on to our next segment is, does anyone have a favorite moment, scene, or line from the movie? If you've already mentioned it, that's fine. Rob? Don't say the credits. Don't say the credits.
There's just so, I mean, it's like Johnny says, there's just so many that pull.
Like, how do you pick? How do you pick?
No, I pick just one. I mean, I probably would say my favorite, well, I'll just say my favorite scene or story of the movie is Jimmy's house. That's by far my favorite. Just because I've got family growing up in California, and just being in the backyard where they were like hosing them down. Like all that just was like, man, this is so relatable. And, and then just like, Jimmy, like you said, he's not a big to do, and he's really worried about like the linens and like everything else that's going on. And and I really like that scene a lot. And I think that was probably my favorite part.
that character, he's a like a classic actor. I forget his name, but he was in a lot of old. He's like in a lot of old movies, I think. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Rob. I didn't mean.
No, I'm done. I was just saying that's my favorite though. If you're gonna pick it for me, if I have to pull out one scene, I like the way the whole thing went down. I mean, Jules is yelling at Vincent because he ruined the hand cloth in the bathroom, like about washing the hands, and then just the directions of cleaning the car, the curtness of Mr. Wolf, like all of it was really just how it all played out was just crazy. I mean, this is a guy, Jimmy's just minding his own business. Look how he is today. Or in the scene. I mean, he clearly is just chilling in the morning like I do. He's still having coffee. These guys show up. They've got a dead body. They've got a huge situation where that these men, like every other man in the world, is scared of the wife. The wife is more powerful to me in this scene than Marcellus Wallace.
And you never see it. Well, you don't see her, I guess.
You don't see her, but you can kind of tell, And I think that's what's
you do
also
see her.
But even before that, though, she kind of looms over the whole situation because that's what everybody's worried about.
There's a lot of fear and panic right now, and it has nothing to do with Marcellus in this scene, and that's what I think I like about the most.
Yeah.
It's always the wife, man.
She's the Marcellus of that situation.
She is. In a way, she's almost the most powerful person in the movie because she can bring everything down.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she's more powerful than Marcellus, other than Marcellus going, we'll put her in the trunk, too.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Put Jimmy in the trunk too. Get rid of them all.
The invisible hand of the wife.
Yeah.
It moves all.
Johnny, your scene?
Or
man, is that's the same one?
No, but that's a close one. I probably have to say the adrenaline shot scene. I just love it so much. If I have to say, like, as a package, I like that scene. Had they like fleshed it out even more and just stuck with it, that could have been a movie. That scene like that. I got a friend ODing. I know you don't want to deal with it, but here we are. Like that could have been like a great movie if they just did that for 90 minutes. I would have loved that. Obviously, I'm glad they didn't, but it's just such a good scene. The characters, it's like right there. You have everybody you need. You got this girl sitting in the back who's just like kind of onlooking. The wife was pissed, and now she's like really interested. The husband, the dealer, he's the only one who kind of sort of knows what to do, but he's also conflicted about exactly how you do it. John Travolta's character, Vincent, he was so cool as a cucumber for almost the rest of the entire movie until this scene. This scene wakes him up almost as much as it wakes up Uma Thurman, because he actually has to think about somebody else.
Yeah.
And he has to dive into this horrible situation, and he has to do his best. And he has no other choice, so he has to do it. And thankfully, he pulls it off.
He's so used to, Johnny, his lifestyle that he's almost sleepwalking through life until this part right here, where it was a real awakening for him.
Yes.
It really harshes his buzz.
Yeah, well,
for real. And so if I had to pick scene, I'd pick that. Now, as far as favorite line, it would have to be from the scene that I'm conflicted about. That's like my very close second favorite scene. It's the scene where they're in the guy's apartment talking about the Kahuna Burger and all that. That scene, yes. The line from that one, and it's a couple of lines, I guess, but the moment is when he's asking the guy, what does Marcellus look like? And he's pointing a gun at him. He just shot his friend. He can't answer a question, so he just says, what? And he gets so mad that he said, what? Throws the table, asks him again, what does Marcellus look like? And he says, what? And he says, say what again? He puts the gun to his head. Say what again? And I think after that, he answers it, but then he goes back to what and shoots him in the shoulder. And that whole, I think for whatever reason, I've identified with that like so much throughout my life. And it might be because I'm ADHD. I don't know. But like, I hate when I'm asking someone a question and if it might be a shocking out of the blue question, and I really shouldn't expect them to actually have an answer ready for me. They may need a moment to process it, but for whatever reason, it's still irritating to me. And that somebody would just be like, what? Even though they heard me. They heard the question, but because they haven't processed it and they need to say something to let me know that they're listening, so they just say what or something like that or huh or whatever. That's always annoyed me, even though it's really unfair for that to annoy me. But it always kind of has, because it's like I'm already here asking the question. I'm already processed it. Come over here so I can get an answer. It's just like this impatient thing, and I've always felt that way, and that this scene kind of exemplifies it. Of course, to a cartoonish degree. It's not really that bad, but this scene illustrates that feeling better than anything, and that moment really kind of captures that. And of course it exaggerates it, but that because of that, I really like that line perhaps a little bit more than the 500 other lines that are so good.
Relatable.
It's super relatable.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly about this particular scene too, because he didn't have to take a bite of the hamburger, he didn't have to take a drink of the Sprite. And he's of course Vincent's not hungry, but we could analyze a lot of stuff in this film over and over and over again, but I love how in this scene he's really toying with this Brett kid, and before he takes his life, and before he basically starts psychologically torturing him. He starts when he walks through the door, but he continues when he's like taking his food. Yeah. I don't care who it is. This is basically a stranger. This isn't your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other of any kind going, hey, I'd like, can I have a bite of your hamburger? Can I have a sip of your drink? And you usually go, yeah, it's not a Joey doesn't share food moment, but this is basically a thug going, I'm going to have a bite of something that's yours.
He's setting the tone for sure.
Yeah, he's setting that tone.
Yeah,
I'm going to just dominate you in every conceivable way.
Yeah. He's going to take what he wants, and they're clearly there to take something already. So they're gonna start and then he starts taking in, forgive the pun, in little bites. They walk in the door. Hey, have a seat. Don't get up. Oh, you're Brett. Are you? Oh, okay. We're real nice. Da 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 da. Now I'm gonna start taking this. I'm gonna start taking that. I'm gonna follow that with a chaser. I'm going to ask you a couple easy questions. I'm going to toss your shit over. I'm going to start getting real nasty with you like a really mean teacher, and now I'm your executioner. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this is, probably, if there's like 3 or 4 of the really big scenes, of course, them in the restaurant dancing, that's iconic, but that I don't think is as iconic as, hey, I gotta get this through her chest plate. Do I gotta stab her 3 times? The adrenaline shot. Is it this scene? Is it Christopher Walken showing up with the watch?
Oh yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah. We can't not mention that one.
That was gonna be Scott's favorite. That's why he.
Yeah. Well, I imagine.
That's where I had to keep my watch earlier today. So. I mean, I didn't want to do it all day because it doesn't charge very well in there. Can you see me walking around with that cord hanging about 15 feet behind me?
You
So,
just got to put it all in there.
Yeah.
I really do like the scene with, at the house at Jimmy's house, but I think my favorite scene of the whole of that whole part is when, even though the acting isn't that great from Tarantino, is that whole exchange between him and Jules and the cough where they're talking about the coffee, and then of course there's Vincent just kind of like uncomfortable. I'm just kind of looking around, And but my favorite line, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'll censor myself just a little bit. I will say this in daily conversation, because if somebody's like celebrating about something, oh yeah, we did it. And I'm like, let's just not go, sucking each other's,
Yeah.
and I use that as part of my own vernacular now. I mean, there's other
That is
things.
a very vivid way to make that point.
Yeah, and I say it with a smile too, just like him. Let's not go say, we're coming down the track, but we're not at the finish line yet. So let's not, go doing that yet.
Sir, we just asked if you were happy with your wireless service.
Yes. That's why I switched from AT&T to Spectrum, because I was a little too jolted. So okay, well, I think that we've touched on this, quite a bit, and we're just gonna move on to our next segment now. So with all that serious stuff out of the way, would anybody be interested in a few memes? Shall we summon the Harbinger of Memes?
Meme me. Are we gonna see the GIF of Travolta like, huh? Because I saw that in the movie, and now I think of the GIF every time.
You will not be seeing that GIF, but
I want this as my screensaver. Me surrounded by fire.
You have like warm lighting too, so it's like perfect.
Well, let's bring out the Harbinger. All right.
Man, bro, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Like killed a Bodum or something. What was that?
Okay, here's our first one here.
Mm.
Can you believe that the whole movie was about a sled? The next thing you know, they'll make some 2.5-hour movie about a light in a briefcase or something.
This they're talking about Rosebud.
The Rosebud. Yeah, the iconic film by Orson Welles, Citizen Kane. And you know what? For what that movie's worth, its contribution to cinema and stuff, it is a snore fest. It really is. I mean, I love the film for what it was there for at the time, but it doesn't translate well today. So.
I think most people think that. I don't think you're in a minority on that. I really don't. I think most people, when you sit them down, ask them what they think about that, they'll say roughly what you just said.
Yeah, because I think if you could cut that movie down into the Simpsons episode with Mr. Burns, and you're good.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's probably the way you should consume it anyway.
Yeah.
Quote the Bible when I do.
I don't always quote the Bible. When I do, I shoot people in the face.
Not really like out of line with the Bible, and depending on what part of the Bible we're talking about.
He spends half of his date complaining about the $5 milkshake, but he spends $3,000 on heroin.
Fair point, honestly. The markup on that is outrageous.
Now, I do want to, put this disclaimer out there. I did find these on the internet, of course. Some of them do have whoever made them on there. So I'm not taking there's only 2 that I actually made. So, and I'm not going to, point, hey, this is who the artist was or whatever. It's right there. It doesn't belong to me. So, but if there's no name on it, sorry, it's a meme. So what are you going to do?
Sue us.
Yeah, sue me. You'll get $14 and a Royale with cheese.
If you're lucky.
I read somewhere that all the clocks in Pulp Fiction say 4:20, but I watched the whole movie and I forgot to look for clocks, and I just did that again today.
I've never heard that. That's interesting.
I've never heard that either. What?
I find that highly unlikely, but
yeah.
With Tarantino, who knows?
I don't remember there being any clocks in the movie.
Yeah, really, I don't even know. Well, dang it, man. Well, I'm gonna watch tonight, so I'll look.
Shot through the heart, and you're to blame. You thought my heroin was cocaine. Yeah, I'm not John Bon Jovi, but
That was good though.
That was good.
I am prettier.
You hit the notes.
When I was born, I was given a choice: having a big penis or having a great memory. Which one did you choose? I don't remember.
Hey, that's not even about Pulp Fiction. That's just
Yeah.
that's just
That's
a whole
personal.
different topic there.
Yeah, I didn't make that one, but it's true. It rings true. Ask Mrs. Dr. Scott. Don't you just love it when you come back from the bathroom and your meme has been featured?
Oh,
Yeah.
did you make that one? I feel like that's
No,
suspiciously high res.
Oh no, you'll see mine because I shamelessly plug the channel and everything.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Oh.
This ain't the shit Bonnie gives me in the morning after you've left for work.
I don't
Okay.
get it. You got to explain it to me.
Well, remember he said Tarantino says to him, Jimmy says to him, he goes, because Jules is going, man, this ain't no tasted choice. You brought out the good stuff, and he's just like, cut it out, Julie. I know my coffee's good. You know why? Because Bonnie buys shit. I like to taste my coffee.
Yeah.
But of course, he leaves for work, and Jules is there to sweep up with Bonnie in the morning.
Got
Hey,
it.
this ain't the shit that Vincent gives me in the morning after you leave for work.
The meme with a sequel.
Yeah. Note
Good.
to self: don't do those memes.
I love that Tarantino still used all the Reservoir Dog outfits too for the Hitman.
Yeah.
Still.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did, didn't he?
Oh,
we're sorry.
isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Pro Flowers Fiction.
And I shall strike down on him with furious vengeance.
That's like really good art. I really like
It
that.
is.
Yeah.
It says it's by quickmeme.com. I mean, I don't know who the actual artist is, but it was on quickmeme.com. And at the top it says 2 blue crabs or something. I don't know.
I thought it was Zordon for a second at first, but it's the Wizard of Oz,
Yeah, it's good.
which is similar.
Just a really angry Zordon.
Yeah, a very deadly Zordon. Look like what?
What? He's bald? Ving Rhames? Bitch-like qualities, perfect for screen.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Okay. We got 2 more.
That's a
Hold
good
on.
one. I like that one.
I'm guessing he didn't phone a friend.
Whoops.
Mm-mm.
Still a better love story than Twilight. My wife agrees. I have not seen Twilight, and even though this was not a love story, still better than Twilight. And I'm sure you guys have seen this one. It's been floating around lately.
I've seen Twilight. Can confirm.
Yeah, I'll have to admit I've seen it. If Johnny's throwing his hat in the ring, then so am I.
Fine,
Yeah.
you admitted to it.
Yeah,
So that's
I'll
right.
admit.
Well, that's the end of the Harbinger. Now, I do have one other little segment I would like to bring up before we say goodnight to the lovely people, since I decided to push the button wrong. That's what I may as well just start saying. No, our real start time is 10 minutes until 8.
We'll get it next time. This is only a second one.
But yeah, that little window pops up. It's like, oh, do you want to record here locally? And all of a sudden I'm like, I just went ahead and went, oh, hey, how's it going, everybody? And I'm like,
Do you have an NVIDIA graphics card?
no. As a matter of fact, I have an M1 Mac.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because NVIDIA has like a thing where you can just screen record without like doing anything. It's like your graphics card will just do it. But I don't know. Maybe Apple has something similar though.
I can do that, but it's with QuickTime and it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're better
file.
off. Yeah, you're better off using something
Sure is
else.
chilly over here.
Okay.
You're staying warm, bro.
Now my well, let me put the other one back here.
No, this is cool, man.
I like the fire. Put the fire back. Actually, the
Okay,
fire's
put the fire back.
Yeah, the fire's good. You should just be that by default, frankly.
I'll make a fire one. So
Yeah.
I've told my wife several times, because she likes those Lego games, like the Lego Indiana Jones and
Harry
Pirates of the
Potter and
Car-
all that.
Yeah, she has, I think, played almost every single one of them, and I have
I
a
have
couple.
to with my kids. I love them.
I just don't play them. I can watch other people play them, but I don't know if it's. I mean, I think they're cute to watch, but it's just not my bag.
Same.
But I've always said, if they made a more violent version, not only would it sell like hotcakes, and it doesn't even have to be T for teen or M for mature, but if it was something that was, rooted around a more adult sort of movie, no, not Debbie Does Dallas, but a more adult sort of a
Not
movie,
bad,
I,
though.
I think that we would have a great deal of sales, and I might just jump in. So, and some of these, I actually found them on all these pictures I found on the web for actual films that I have, said to my wife, Lynn, I wish that they made Lego whatever. So the first one, of course, is I think that they should make
Pulp
Lego
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. I think that Lego Pulp Fiction would be a lot of fun.
Mm.
I think that there's a lot of story that they could have fun with.
Need a little plastic needle.
Yeah. And you got these adult themes, but somebody actually went and made these things. This is not me making this. Somebody actually made these. And I said, I cannot believe I found these. So, yeah.
And they have the telltale symbol, so that makes the game at the bottom there.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, Telltale. They're the ones who make the Lego games. I have kids, so man, I play them all the time. Just any excuse to hang out with them. So
This is a different Telltale than The Walking Dead, then, I guess, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
realize
But
that.
now that they actually have real dialogue in the movies, can you imagine a Lego game saying, "What does a Marcellus Wallace look like?" English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Okay, I just F-bombed, so sorry. But it was in context, so. All
I
right.
mean, I'd play it, dude. I'd play it.
Now
This
this
would be a
one,
Lego game I would play.
I've always wanted this one, this next one. I've always wanted
Oh,
Lego
Scarface.
Scarface. I think Lego Scarface would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at this. Somebody built this
Oh,
beautiful,
wow,
this
that's
beautiful
crazy,
mansion.
man.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty cool.
Another really exciting one, I think, would be Lego Goodfellas.
Damn, now we're talking.
Oh yes, that would be fun, especially when Jimmy and oh shoot, it just went out of my head. When they're waiting for what's his name to get made, and then he gets whacked,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you just see that scene, and then of course
In the trunk.
Oh
in
my
the trunk.
god, jeez.
That was
man.
right at the beginning of the movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
of course during the middle of the movie too, because they're like, what the heck is that? So they, you actually get to see that because of
Okay,
course this scene also happens at that same time,
Yeah.
and of course that is Martin Scorsese's mom.
And I want to just add something here real quick. As an Italian from Chicago, only New York Italians use ketchup on spaghetti. So let's just clear that up.
Okay.
That's just
That's gross. No
ain't
one
right.
should put ketchup on their spaghetti.
Yeah.
no.
That's New
That should
York.
be illegal, quite frankly.
Okay, now the next one, I think that would be really cool, and they could do all three films. I'd be okay with that if they decided to do. If they decided to
Ooh,
do
is that Blade?
Blade, the Blade trilogy, or
I
at
would
least
like
the very
that.
first one.
So he's in the Marvel Lego game, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay. So we got one foot in the door.
So yeah, as I say, it's definitely an opening. They could definitely create a whole Blade game.
Yeah.
Now, I sat down without one. It's sitting actually without two other films. I was going to grab them, but it's okay. I'm showing to you here. But
I think they did make a Blade game on the PS2, right?
they did.
Yes.
It was Blade 2, and I heard
And
it was okay.
like, it was kind of like, all right.
And original Xbox too has it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what
So
about
another foot in the door.
what about
wow.
Lego Freddy versus Jason?
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be really fun, but not as fun as Lego American Psycho.
Oh,
my God.
geez. We don't need that. I don't think we need that one.
I can hear the Phil Collins music listening
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah, you like Phil Collins? That's all right.
I thought this record was really the best.
He was talking about Huey Lewis, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it might have been, yeah.
Huey Lewis and he was talking about Sports, the one CD that got Huey launched.
Right,
There
yeah,
is
right.
a Funny or Die sketch, if you guys have never seen it, and to you guys that are out there watching, if you've never seen it, there is a scene that is perfectly reconstructed with Huey Lewis, in the role of Patrick Bateman, or the Patrick Bateman role, but he's playing, of course, Huey Lewis, and Huey Lewis and Weird Al Yankovic in the Jared Leto, and you just look it up on YouTube. It's out there. It's just absolutely hilarious. Just look up Huey Lewis American Psycho. It'll come right up.
All right.
Okay.
Now, I love Grand Theft Auto Vice City, but I think that a Lego Grand Theft Auto Vice City would be just as funny as the original, but it might actually take us a step further that we didn't get to, or in directions we didn't get to go with the original. But what movie would I, of course, end on? No, not Lego RoboCop, although that would be
I
fun.
was literally going to blurt out
Mm.
RoboCop, so
Although
That's a
that
good
would
one.
be fun, I think that Lego Die Hard would be the movie.
that would have been my next guess for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lego
That'd be a
Die
good one.
Hard would be the movie, and I'd be like, hey, where's my Lego Die Hard? Hey, get on that right now, because this is the guy I want. I want Carl. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. Or is that Carl's brother? I'm sorry, that's Carl's brother.
And because it's Lego, it'd only be one story of sheer terror.
Right.
Wow.
Hey, there's Hans.
Hey, look, it's Snape.
This photograph was, of course, taken by Cadigan Photography. I'm just, of course, giving them credit. Now I
Oh, they even
remove
have
that.
the hugging couple at the airport. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then of course, there's the guy back there with the
Nestle Crunch Bar,
Nestle
yeah.
Crunch bar.
Eating
the
at
guy,
the snack bar during the shootout. That'd be me too, though, man.
and
Does
then
it say clutch? It's a clutch.
Yeah,
Clutch bar?
so you don't get sued,
Yeah, yeah. Well, he is
Exactly.
clutching it too, so
Right.
it makes sense.
But otherwise, that is all I have for this evening. I'm sorry for those who decided to watch. If you actually decided to tune in because I'm such a schmo and I decided to hit the button and not hit the button a second time.
Well, if
So-
YouTube works the way I think it does, it'll save that as its own video, right? And then you'll have this one too. So they'll both exist, right?
I don't think so.
Oh,
No,
okay.
because I have to actually push the button on my end for it to be sent to YouTube.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's how I knew things weren't going live, because I was watching the comments. So
Were people going, where the hell are you?
no, just people were coming in and out, and then I noticed up here on the screen where it says live now, it just said waiting, and I was like, oh crap, we did it again. We did
Well,
this last time too.
But hey, for our second,
Well, so that's it. So third time's a charm. The third video.
third video is the charm. I will remember
Yeah.
to push, yes, I want to continue after this, but I appreciate anybody who decided to tune in to watch this, or who decided to, watch this later on. I really appreciate you, because I tell you what, I'm old, and this technology thing is, I can edit video like nobody's business, but when it comes to this live stuff, nobody does it better than my buddy Dan and on the Spacebook and Type 40. So, Dan, my hat's off to you. But like he told me, he's been doing this for about 4 years. I've been doing it for about 4 weeks. So
yeah, live
this
stuff is weird. There's a language to it that I don't really grasp. I did it on TikTok a couple times. It's weird. So don't feel bad.
Yeah, well, it does happen. It does happen. So
Now
anyway,
no one's gonna see the Vince Vega you had in the beginning.
no,
Yeah, that's
I-
true.
That's gonna
well,
haunt my dreams tonight.
Mm.
well, we could leave them with that. So why don't
No,
we
no,
just
we're
go?
good.
We'll leave them with the Vincent Vega, but they probably saw that in the preview anyway. But we'll just say good night to everybody. Thank you guys both for showing up.
Absolutely.
And I will, after we sign off here, you and we'll talk for a couple minutes. But I want to say thank you to everybody who decided to hang in with us for a while. So we will be having a comedy night pretty soon, if I can reach around here and grab this stuff. So some of the films we may be doing here very, very soon. We may be talking about Roadhouse soon.
Oh,
Ooh.
We might be talking about Phantasm, the original first movie Phantasm, soon.
That's a good one.
And of course, we're going to be talking about The Thing and its prequel,
Wow.
The Thing.
yeah.
But before that, we're going to be having a couple comedy nights, and we will be having a Mel Brooks night here pretty soon, and then a favorite comedy night. A favorite comedy night. I'm 14 again. My voice is cracking up.
It happens. Second
Yeah.
puberty.
Yeah, so we will be doing that very, very soon. So tune in to Game Closet Video Vault Live for that pretty soon. Hopefully we'll be having a little more frequently as opposed to once a month. So thank you for showing up, everybody. Thanks so much. And we'll see you all very, very soon.